From New Bedford, Massachusetts, the #1 fishing port in America, welcome to the Paul Santos Live Show. I'm Allison Dyan, along with Gary Langevin and Artie DeMello, the PSL Band.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Allison. Thank you. Thank you, Allison.
Inviting you to join Paul and his guest tonight, Leon Monty.
Yeah.
Andrew Pollock.
Andy.
Life coach Suzanne Dwyer.
Yes.
And comic Debi Braconi. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the host of our show, Paul Santos!
All right. Hey, what's happening? Welcome to the Paul Santos Live Show. How's everybody feeling tonight? Oh, my God. What a crowd we got here at Mikey B's. You've come to the right place, the place where we highlight the talented, the interesting, and the entertaining from our area. You heard that lineup that Allison said. Quick shout out to those watching on ABC 6 in Providence. Good Sunday morning to you guys. All right. Shout out to those watching on Channel 95 in New Bedford on Wednesday nights. And last but not least, if you're watching the live stream, type something in. Let us know you're there. Say hello, Paul. Hello, Allison, Gary, Artie. Make a comment, and we'll get right back at you. All right, let's get caught up in the news. What do you think, huh?
Yeah, let's do it.
Well, you know, there's a television show that we're watching that got really good ratings, The Golden Bachelor. Anybody watch this thing, The Golden Bachelor? It's kind of like The Bachelor except for older people, you know? But it was a lot like The Other Bachelor because they kept using the word journey, you know? Oh, I'm on this beautiful journey. Oh, each step of our journey. Oh, this is such a wonderful, loving journey. So I kind of like that idea, you know? So I figured I'd try this on my wife. So one morning I said to my wife, "Good morning, honey, love of my life. Today is the first day of the rest of our journey." My wife said, "Yeah, well, how about you journey to the bathroom and brush your teeth? Your breath ain't making it."
Yeah. Wow. Ouch. She says what everyone else is thinking, Paul. You know, she just says what everyone else is thinking.
Say hello to the head comedy writer, Aunt Santos, right over there. There she is.
Yes.
No, we're having a great time. You know, we're in our empty nest stage. Our kids are grown and gone, so we have a lot of laughs. And I got to tell you, I'm really happy to be married because dating, I hear the dating stories. I mean, dating is getting really expensive. For example, the single guy up here, Gary, he went out with a real high-class woman last week. High-class Hannah. Yeah, she had a real high class, all right. Hey.
Oh, you must have her confused with somebody else.
Speaking of high class, Allison, how you doing today? How things going?
I'm doing great.
Hey, you ever watch the Home Shopping Channel?
I do all the time.
Well, you know, one morning I put on the TV and the Home Shopping Channel popped on. Probably my wife had left it on, you know, something like that. Yeah. So I look up there and I'm watching the Home Shopping Channel, and on the screen are these two big naked rear ends, right? So I'm looking on there and I'm thinking, well, wait a minute. Was that something I left on? No, it's the Home Shopping Channel. No.
No, Ann left it on. No, did she?
No, really, it was the Home Shopping Channel, and I'm looking at this, I'm like, why are these two naked rear ends there? Well, you know what they were selling? One on side of the screen was the before naked rear end, and the other side of the screen was the after naked rear end. They were selling a cream that's supposed to give you a butt lift. Can you imagine that?
Really?
How stupid is that?
I could help. Fine, just call me. I'll take care of all that. No, I mean, really.
TMI here.
Yeah, no, well, I just rang the bell. Sorry.
No, really. Imagine a cream. Anybody fall for this? So I'm looking at the screen, and I'm looking at these two asses, and I'm thinking, I'm the biggest one for watching this crap.
Oh, yes. That's true.
Anyway, well, you
From
know,
this angle, no, it didn't work.
Well, you know, I ordered some actually. Not because of my butt, because I have a nice butt. You know what I mean? I don't need any work there.
I don't know what you mean.
I don't know if you noticed that before, but no, I wanted to use it on my pot belly. I figured if I put it on here, it could shrink my hot belly. You know? Yeah. So then I put some on there. I'm like, oh no, it's dripping down! It's dripping down! Oh my God!
Oh jeez. Yeah, no, that's so gross.
Anyway, hey, I got some good news. Money has been set aside for road and bridge repairs. Isn't it about time? Yeah. Hey, wait a minute. Road and bridge repairs. This reminds me of one of Allison's exes, Lonnie London Bridge. But he kept falling down. It wouldn't stay up, you know what I'm saying?
That wasn't my fault.
Hey, I'm sorry to hear this news because I actually did do some shopping there. But the Dartmouth Mall had to file bankruptcy. Did you hear that story? Yeah.
No.
Yeah, they had trouble balancing the bookstore.
Wow.
They have to be with their lawyers in court. Well, not that court, the food court.
Oh. Orange Julius is your attorney.
Hey, by the way, we got a little dusting of snow this morning. Wasn't that a beautiful little dusting of snow? Any snow fans out here? No? Not really?
Snow fans, yeah.
Hey, New Bedford is facing a plow driver shortage.
Oh, thank
Anyone here do any plowing?
Yeah. What are you looking at me for? Yes. I plow. What? Just in the winter.
Speaking of Gary, I'm an amateur singer. I know people have heard that I'm trying to learn the craft, and it is a lot of fun as an older person trying to pick up that craft. Well, the other day I went over to Gary's house just to practice, because Gary is somebody that teaches singing, So I showed up at Gary's house, and Gary said, hey, is there any song that comes to mind since you got here? And I said, yeah, Smoke It's in My Eyes.
Oh, what? Yeah, no, Rocky Mountain High. No.
By the way, we're going to do something. We'll do a little collab later on.
Yeah, but I have to go take care of the pool real quick before we do that.
All right, well, we're moving right along here, and I hate to tell you this, Allison, because this comes so quickly, doesn't it? This moment comes so quickly.
It does.
I'm now going to bring you the final joke of the night.
The final
Woo!
Wow.
That's their favorite part of the final.
Wow, I'm going deaf over here from that ovation. My goodness. Hey, do you realize that the smartphone company Galaxy is giving out a $50 credit if you reserve a new Galaxy phone right away? Yeah, you get a new phone now, but when you have to make the monthly payments to Galaxy, they're out of this world. In fact, at that point, you get it right in the asteroid.
I'm sorry, could you say that again?
We have a big show tonight. How's everybody doing? Everybody doing good? Yeah. All right. Now, we have a great show. We'd like to take the opportunity to thank our sponsors. How about the place where the show comes to you every single Monday night? Mikey B's, New Bedford.
Mikey B.
How about J&J Materials, thanks to John Ferreira. Good friend of mine, attorney John B.C., thanks to him. How about that great comedy company, Dying for Laughs, with our own Allison Dyan. Cisco, New Bedford, and our good friend Steve Silverstein. Alden Court, with our good friend Sharon Jensen. And last but not least, the man who puts together the wires, the lights, the camera, the action, from Bristol County Media, our good friend Aaron Cadju.
Aaron the Baron.
I happened to be present the last time Paul was practicing at Gary's house. All the neighborhood dogs started barking. The police were called. It was a horrible scene.
I'll have you know all those neighborhood dogs are in love immediately, I gotta tell you. Now, we have a great show. We've got Leon Monty, Andrew Pollock, Suzanne Dwyer, and Debbie Braconi on the show. So stay with us. We're going to start with comedy. It's the Paul Santos Live Show. Thank you so much for looking in. Say hello to the best band in all the land. It's Gary. It's Artie. The PSL Band. There they are. We're joined by John Ferreira of J&J Materials out here in Rehoboth, Massachusetts. John, always good to see you.
Thank you. Always good to see you too.
You know, I know you've had great success here in your business. How did you get into this particular business?
I bought this property and decided to open a little retail yard, you know, something small for small contractors. And the J&J came from my two kids, John and Janelle.
How long have you had this business?
So J&J opened in 1993, Nantucket Pavers, 1996. We manufacture and sell patio blocks to Home Depot in 48 states. And turned into a pretty huge operation, as you can see. We got 5 stores, 2 in Rhode Island, 3 in Massachusetts, and we're the largest landscape supplier in southeastern Mass and Rhode Island. We've always got good staff and over 100 employees, and I've got a lot of people that have been with me over 30 years.
How much inventory do you have here?
So J&J has on pretty much at all times between $5 and $6 million worth of pavers, stone, mulch, landscape supplies, masonry supplies, cultured stone for chimneys, anything you need for your home.
You also have trucks coming and going all the time.
Yes, oh yeah, there's trucks picking up aggregates, picking up stone, bark mulch, screen loom. You know, a lot of mason contractors come for their mason sand and their cement. So yeah, it's a busy place. From the bringing in the material to getting it delivered to the home to servicing and selling the customer. It's all very important. You know, if you need landscape supplies, come to J&J.
All right, how about that fantastic band, Gary Landry and Artie DeMello.
Thank you,
The
Paul.
PSL band, there they are.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you,
Yeah.
everybody. Thank you.
Gotta love those guys. Hey, a shout out to a good friend of ours, Ed Fernandez, better known as Cecil Sassafras, looking in from the Villages in Florida. Shout out to the Villages.
Hi.
We have a following down in the Villages, you know. The Villages is a frisky place. Did you hear about that? A lot of
yes.
those older people, they went crazy when they went down there.
Yeah, I experienced some of that this weekend.
Speaking of going crazy, say hello to our comedy director, Allison Dyan. Hey, Allison.
Hi.
How are you? Always good to see you.
I'm doing well. My husband and I are planning a vacation.
Oh, wow, nice.
Yeah, we're going to go to Los Angeles the first 2 weeks in February. And you know, I used to live in LA. I had a great little apartment. It was right at the corner of I Want to Be Famous and Nobody Cared. Yeah, and I know that sounds glamorous until you end up doing the walk of shame down the walk of fame. Oh yeah, you guys, I once threw up on Lucille Ball and slept it off on Humphrey Bogart.
Tough out there, tough.
Oh yeah, on Hollywood Boulevard, I slept on top of more famous men than Taylor Swift.
Oh!
You know? Yes, thank you. Interesting thing, you know, my favorite actor, Leonardo DiCaprio, does not have a star on the Walk of Fame.
Wow, is that right?
Yeah, he doesn't. It turns out he does not want a woman over the age of 23 being able to get on top of him.
Hey, I like that joke. Well, I like them all, but the Taylor Swift one. You know, a lot of Taylor Swift fans out there. You know, got to be careful. Those young women, they go crazy over Taylor Swift, you know?
I know, but, you know, they're Taylor Swift fans. I can take them.
You can take them down?
Yeah, I'm not worried about Taylor Swift fans. Beyonce fans, that's another story, but Taylor Swift fans, I can take them.
Do you like Taylor Swift?
I do like Taylor
Yeah,
Swift.
she's got some good music, you know?
Yeah, she does.
I kind of like Riri myself, you know? Rihanna.
I love Rihanna.
Shaka Khan, that's what.
Wait a minute. Crazy Casey like Shaka Khan? I'm surprised. Shaka
Everyone
Khan?
loves Shaka
Shaka
Khan.
Khan? Shaka Khan? Shaka Khan? All right. Well, anyway, we're going to start the show with some comedy. I know we had a little comedy before, but we're going to go to real comedy now. And this lady right here, I was chatting with her before. Hilarious.
Oh, yeah. Debbie Braconi is awesome. I met her at an open mic I do at Harry's La Casamia. She is a former flight attendant, and she has done comedy all over the world, including 37,000 feet in the air. So we're happy she's here at Mikey B's with us.
Yeah, I heard that whole thing about being the flight attendant. She's got some great stories of stuff that happened at 35,000 feet.
Oh, I can imagine.
But we'll let her tell you all that. Ladies and gentlemen, say hello to a terrific comic, Debbie Braconi.
Thank you, everybody. Boy, life has gotten so stressful in society. They're making all these rules up. Have you seen that parking space at Stop and Shop, that customer with infant parking? Well, I'm Catholic. I have a confession to make. I took it. And the minute I took it, I had these people walking in front of my car giving me a dirty, filthy look. So I got out of my car and I popped the trunk and I said, now you be a good little baby. Mommy will be right back. And I shut the trunk. Now, the good thing about that, those people that saw me inside the store, they got right out of my way. As a matter of fact, I heard this woman say, isn't that the lady with the baby in the trunk? So I didn't find what I was looking for. I went over to Walgreens, and I got one of those, those baskets, throw those little travel amenities into, and I didn't realize until I got out to my car, and it hit the side view mirror. Oh, my God, I have the basket. So I threw it in the car, and I looked at it, Catholic guilt again. I said, I'm going to have to bring it back. And I said, no, I'm keeping it. So I got about a half a mile up the street, and I heard the police, woo, 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 pull over, pop the trunk. I said, oh, thank God, they're looking for the baby. But how many by applause grew up as a Catholic? Come on, how many?
Yeah.
Good for you for still admitting it. What did you do when you were 10 years old and you had to go to confession? Didn't you just make stuff up? Bless me, Father, for I have sinned. I don't know. It's been a couple of weeks since my last confession. Put me down for one of everything. And then, we're nosy by nature, Catholics. I get out with the penance, and I look up at the altar, and I see this kid, and he's doing his penance. I elbowed him. I said, hey, how many prayers do you have? I have 25 Our Fathers and 50 Hail Marys. Holy crap, this is a bad kid. I better stay away from him. But another thing Catholics do, they keep secrets. My mother never talked to me about anything, never told me the truth about anything. Mr. Sullivan down the street used to say, he's not an alcoholic. He likes to sleep on the hood of his car. And she never talked to me about sex when I was in high school. And I know if she had, I could have been a far more popular cheerleader. But that's okay. I went on to college. I had a boyfriend. It was a couple of months into it. He's like, Debbie, are you still a virgin? I had no idea what the word meant. I said, sometimes I am, sometimes I'm not. But that's okay. I said, oh, God, I got to go and get birth control. So I went to the gynecologist, and women, you can relate to this. Where else have you ever seen a 2-foot-long Q-tip swab? I said, whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm just here for a pap smear. I don't need a throat culture done at the same time. But I went on, and I got a real job. I became a flight attendant.
Yeah, whoa.
I know what everybody's thinking now. Well, she's not a virgin anymore. But I can see the people that are watching me as I go through security. What does a flight attendant have in her rollerboard? I'll tell you what I have in my rollerboard. I have my boyfriend in my rollerboard, and as soon as I get those batteries charged up, I'm going to have one hell of a layover. I get on these layovers, and one of the flight attendants, he says to me, Debbie, while you're here, why don't you get those sexy lips? Get those collagen shots. I said, oh, I'm never going to do that. And he says, how come? I said, anybody shoots anything foreign into these lips, there better be a Mercedes involved. Or some jewelry. He said, all right, if you don't want to do that, then take a piece of skin off your ass and throw it on your lips. I go, oh, my God, that would get so confusing. He says, how come? I said, I wouldn't know whether to wear lip liner or throw a thong on for the evening. But the good thing would be everybody here would be kissing my butt all night. But now the best part of being a flight attendant, I just have to grab my jumpsuit over here. Am I still on the camera? Oops, I'm on the camera. Hi, here I am, I'm back. Did you miss me? Did you get off the plane? No. Okay, so everybody stay with me. You've been on one of these wonderful trips before, I'm sure. Oh my God, the plane is bouncing all over the place. I look outside, there's lightning outside the window. It feels like the wings are gonna snap off. And I'm your flight attendant. I have to assure you, we'll be fine. Everything's gonna be okay. Do you have any idea what I'm thinking? We're gonna die, we're all gonna die. I have to walk down the plane, do my FAA security checks, make sure all your seatbelts are securely fastened. This guy grabs me by the wrist. Do you hear that noise? I said, yes, sir, I do. We're gonna have to listen to that the whole time? I said, I certainly hope so. Those are the engines. Oh my God, look at what time it is. I have to go now. I have to get that baby out of the trunk. Support live comedy. Paul Santos, wonderful show. Thank you for having me. Allison Dye, woo woo!
All right, Deb Braconi. Let's keep it going for Deb. Great job, Deb. All right, she's bringing her seat. She's moving furniture around. That's okay. We don't mind that. Hey, welcome to the show. Great to meet you.
Oh, thank you.
This is the first time that we ever had anybody on, I believe, that was a flight attendant. So you're the first.
Oh, thank you. I always like to be first.
That must have been interesting being a flight attendant. I mean, must have been a lot of strange stuff that happened during your years as a flight attendant.
Lots of very strange. So, people will say to me, oh, you must have seen everything. I haven't seen everything. There's always something else that happens on the plane. Always some crazy thing that's going to happen. You never can expect what they're going to do. I have a story. Can I tell you?
I was getting nervous there for a second. Is it a story that we can hear? You know,
It's a story that we can hear. It has
well, actually,
nothing to
this
do-
audience can handle it just about
Nothing
anything.
to
you
do
know.
with the Mile High Club. We're not going to go there, Paul.
I was going to ask you that.
Let me just reapply more lipstick. No, I'm only kidding. But no, I had a new hire flight attendant, and she was in the back galley. And I looked up front, and we're training, and we're going to close the front aircraft door. And I said, well, it looks like we're all set. We're good to go. And she says, well, except for that woman that just pulled a rabbit out of her bag. I said, what? There was a rabbit. It was the biggest rabbit I've ever seen. It was, I would say it was larger than a pit bull, larger than a pit bull. She took it out of her bag, and I guess it was a security thing, and she started stroking the rabbit. And I said, you can't have that rabbit on board. And the flight attendant was like, well, the new hire, well, I feel so bad. You want to get the rabbit off? I said, do you want a rabbit hopping around the airplane while we're trying to do a beverage service? No, that's not going to work. It's not going to happen, no. But I had this other woman that asked me for some dental floss in the flight, like we're supposed to supply everything on the plane. I said, no, I'm sorry, we don't have any dental floss. And she says, you don't carry any dental floss? She goes, oh, that's okay. So she pulled the hair out of her head and started flossing her
Oh, man.
That's a true story. They're all true stories.
Yeah, you can't make this stuff up,
You
right?
can't make this stuff up. Yeah, they get crazy on the airplane. They get crazy. Yeah.
Now, you did this how many years?
Well, I was in the industry for over 40.
Wow.
Yeah, with 2 airlines. I started with Eastern Airlines. Woo! Yeah, wow. Look at how old she is. But and then I had a little space in between after they went on strike, and then I went with American Airlines. And with American Airlines, I began on the ticket counter. Then I worked 6 months on the ramp. I used to wing walk on the tarmac. I used to load the aircraft, drive the huff. Oh, yeah. I know a lot of people don't know that about me, but yeah, I can start an airline if anybody's interested. We could talk. We could talk after the show.
Well, you know that speech that they make at the beginning? Like, you must have said that over and over, that you probably have it in the back of your head, right?
Oh yes. Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has indicated we're ready for departure. However, the flight cannot leave the gate until all overhead bins have been closed and all passengers are seated. And I have no idea why you have to be seated. Can't we fly standing up, everybody?
You have to point to, like, the doors and all that stuff.
Point to the doors.
Yeah.
We have to do the safety, take out the safety briefing card in the seat back pocket in front of you, which nobody reads. But I think after that 737M aircraft problem that they just had, and what was it, a panel just blew out of the side
Yeah, I
of the-
saw that.
It's, I actually thought it was an emergency exit window. And I was briefing somebody that we were coming out of Cancun. Are you willing and able to operate the exit in case of an emergency? And the girl says, no. I was like, no? And I said, the guy next to her says, well, have you ever heard this before? I have never heard this before. Well, what are you going to do? I said, I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to have the gate agent, and he'll have to come and take her off the airplane. And so all of a sudden, her mother, who's in the way back, she jumps up and she goes, she can do it. She can, if she can't do it, I'll move seats with her. And I'm like, oh my God. And of course, they had their drinks in their hands still, I think, from the last bar with the umbrellas in it. I said, that's okay. That's all right.
Well, you know, you mentioned that whole Mile High Club thing, right? And there was a thing where sometimes people, you know, they get a little romantic on the plane and stuff like that.
Oh, I had somebody who was celebrating her birthday.
Yeah, so do you have to go down there and say, hey, come on now, this is, you know.
No, I was looking in the back and I was wondering why there was such a long line to go into the bathroom and nobody was coming out. And then one of the flight attendants calls me and says, Debbie, she thinks she's on the Mile High Club. And I said, get her out of the bathroom. She goes, we're trying to, but there's such a long line of men waiting to get into the bathroom. And she came up the aisle, getting off the aircraft in Cancun, singing, happy birthday to me. Yeah, we've had
Wow,
all
I
that.
guess you've seen it all.
We've all seen just about all of it. You know, it's
Now,
pretty crazy.
Becoming a comic, right? That's something that you decided to do a little bit later on after you had been doing this other job for a while. How did that happen?
I was doing it for a while, and what happened was, unfortunately, I was diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer. And actually, I was misdiagnosed first, and then I found it myself on a layover in Maracaibo, Venezuela. Girls, ladies, always do the self-breast exam, like to tell you that. But anyways, so while I was out recovering, there was an open mic, which was down in Marshfield, and I was staying with my sister who has a house in Norwell, and she said, I'll go with you. So I went, and I did the comedy, and I loved it. And I've produced a couple of shows. I was actually talking to Maddie in the morning on Kiss 108, and he said, wow. He said, you had stage 3 breast cancer, and then you started to do comedy, and I forget who the other host was. He said, you get a splinter, and you just whine about it. She had a double mastectomy. So.
Gee, you know, it's interesting because we were talking before. I think sometimes we have a fear of trying something new, whether it's comedy or singing or whatever it is you're trying to do. But then when you compare it to what's really serious, I mean, going up on stage probably seems like, hey, it's not that big a deal after what you survived, right?
No, it's not that big a deal.
Good for you.
It's a rush. It could be a little bit terrifying at first, but so can't, having your boobs taken off.
So what's coming up? You got some shows lined up?
I have a couple of shows. I had a show over in Weymouth, and I'm producing a couple more. And I'm planning on doing a big fundraiser here, probably in the spring, but I'll put that out on my Facebook page.
Gee, that's great. You're a funny lady. We really appreciate you stopping by. Thank you so
having
much
me.
for being
Thank
part
you,
of our
everybody.
show.
Support live
Debbie
comedy.
Braconi, thank you so much.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you very much.
We'll be right back with more of the Paul Santos Live Show. Please stay with us.
And the living is easy. Fish are jumping, and the cotton is high. Oh, your dad is rich, and your mother's good looking. So hush, little baby, don't you cry. Get out of here. Artie DeMello, everybody. Give him a round of applause, will you please?
And on keyboard, how about Gary Langevin, ladies and gentlemen? All right.
Thank you, Paul.
All right, I'd like to do a couple of quick shout-outs. Our favorite, or one of our favorite viewers, looking in from Niagara Falls, New York, Lynn Marie Scrivano. Thanks for looking in tonight. Shout out to John Pisarzik. Jody Sloan, a great comic in her own right. Thank you very much. I had a chance to work with her. And Dana Bernier looking in tonight. Thank you very much for watching our show. All right, at this time, we have a terrific singer and a gentleman who's done some great work on the other side of the world helping out kids. He's going to explain all about that. But for right now, he's going to sing. Ladies and gentlemen, returning to our show again, the one and only Mr. Leon Monty.
Think of your fellow man, lend him a helping hand, and put a little love in your heart. You see it's getting late, please don't hesitate. Just put a little love in your heart, and this world will be a better place. Yeah, this world will be a better place for you and me. Just wait and see. And another day goes by. Still the children cry. Put a little love in your heart. If you want the world to know we won't let hatred grow, put a little love in your heart, and the world will be a better place. Yeah, the world will be a better place for you and me. You just wait and see. Oh, take a good look around. If you're still looking down, put a little love in your heart. I hope when you decide kindness will be your guide, put a little love in your heart. Come on. The world will be a better place. Yeah, the world will be a better place for you and me. You just wait now and see. Oh, put a little love in your heart. 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 And this world will be a better place. Yeah, this world will be a better place for you and me. Just wait now and see. Come on, baby, put a little love in your heart. Just put a little love in your heart. Put a little love in your heart. Put a little love in your heart.
Leon Monty, ladies and gentlemen. Come on over, Leon, and grab a seat so we can chat for a second. Thank you very much for coming down on short notice again.
Well, isn't that the usual case for me? What's up with that, Paul, anyway?
No, every once in a while, one of these things happens. You know, like the guest that was supposed to be on this week thought they were on next week. So I went into panic mode. And then I'm like, oh, Leon, man, let's see if I can get Leon. You know, and then hey, you came through. We appreciate that. Let's hear for Leon. Come on now, let's hear for Leon.
At least I get to be a guest, you know? On the greatest show in America, that is. Did I say that?
Yeah, you can say that. That's all right. Well, thank
Okay.
you very much for coming down. I know you think of yourself as the backup quarterback, but I
Yeah.
think of you as like Mariano Rivera in the bullpen, closing the game down. You know
I'm
what I mean?
closing it down, baby.
Hall of Famer, baby.
I'm the closer.
Well, one of the reasons why we like to have you come down too, not only enjoy your singing, but you're doing a lot of great work out there in the country of Ghana, which is really on the other side of the planet. And, you know, people down there, they don't have the comforts of America. And you're always over there helping these folks out. I know you married a woman from there, the lovely wife.
That's right, Paul.
And so you would like to go over there and help the kids out. So tell me about the Kids of Ghana Foundation.
Well, yeah, I started that about 6 years ago when I went over to be introduced to my in-laws for the first time. And I knew that God was doing something in my spirit because I fell in love with the most deprived children during that visit. And it's just been the greatest thing I've ever done ever since.
Right.
And we've been able to rescue some of the most deprived children of that country and literally pull them out of the mud and put them in schools, bring them to the hospital, and set them up in wonderful orphanages. As a result, yeah. Thank you. And it's all from people's donations. That's how we do it. And I'm supposedly going back at the end of February if all the funds come through, because we're going to plant 3 wells over there in 3 different villages where they're getting their water out of river streams right now. And yeah, talk about parasites, bacteria, and resulting in illnesses.
How much does it cost to put in a well?
Well, thanks for asking, because at today's exchange rate, it is foolish not to do it. I've received a estimate of 18,800 Ghana cedis, which exchanges to about 1,650 US dollars. So why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I seek help? Kidsofghana.org is how you can help.
All right, let's give this man some help. Let's give this man some help.
We really just need help.
Well, keep up the great work over there. I know you've been working on this for quite some time, very successfully so, and you're doing some terrific work for these young kids. So let's hear it one more time for Leon. Now, tell me about the singing, because I know you play the drums and you sing, and now you're playing with your son, which is a lot of fun, huh?
Yeah. Well, it's been a long time. I worked as a kind of a freelance drummer for about 30 years. You know, I played with everybody everywhere, I think, and well, started writing more and more about 15 years ago. So I just kind of left the drums behind, and I've written many, many songs, and I was able to produce other artists in the studio and work on other records. And now my son Judah is 12 years old, and man, this kid can play some drums.
I heard him. Yeah, that's great. Isn't it fun playing with your son?
It's so cool.
Isn't it great? Yeah.
It's so cool because I don't even teach him much. He just picks it right up.
Yeah, right.
And then we just kind of detail things from there, you know.
Well, tell me about the writing, because I know you're going to perform a song here in a moment that you wrote. What's the name of this particular song, and what is the message that you're trying to say in this song?
Oh, well, I wrote this song about 10 years ago. I was out and about. It was a rainy day, and I wanted to have some breakfast. So I found myself down in the South End, and there's a place across from the Kilburn Mill there. It's called Platters. I had never seen the place before, but I thought, hey, there's a breakfast joint. Let's go check this place out. So, yeah, it was raining in New Bedford, and I walk in this place, and I noticed I only had $10 in my pocket. But this place was like a time capsule. You know, they still have paneling on the walls. So I'm starting to write a song while I'm sitting there having my breakfast. The place I go for breakfast still has paneling on the walls. They cook your food in front of you, and it don't cost much at all. I won't sing the whole song until I get up there.
All right, so you want to do that song right now?
No. Did you think I was going to do that?
Well, I have the whole rundown right here. Don't mess me up here. I got to follow this.
All right.
All right, head back to the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, while he's on his way back, we're going to say a couple of quick hellos here to someone here by the name of Sean Fitzgerald, yes, from the NB Rude Boys. Thank you for looking in tonight. And Bruce Sear, one of our favorite viewers. Thank you very much for looking in. All right, are you ready to go? I guess he is. Ready or not, here he is. Ladies and gentlemen, Leon Monty.
Place I go for breakfast still has paneling on the walls. They cook your food in front of you, and it don't cost much at all. The girls who take your order wouldn't rather be anywhere else. You may have a table for one, but you will never, ever be by yourself. This place has got heart. This place is like home. It's a picture of America. We never give up hope. Can I help you, please? What would you like to have? How's your family? I remember your dad. It was raining in New Bedford, so I didn't have much work. I only had $10. I was hungry for the word. I said, what's the news, lady? Do you know it and can you tell? She said, honey, you're in a table for one, but you will never, ever be by yourself. This place has got heart. This place is like home. It's a picture of America. We don't ever give up hope. Can I help you, please? What would you like to have? How's your family? I remember your dad. Oh, I sure do. He was such a good man.
Hey, Rosie, can I get some more home fries, please? What kind of toast you got? White, wheat, and rye? Hey, hey! Oh, I love this place. This place has got hard. This place is like home.
Next up on the Paul Santos live show, we've got an interesting lady who is kind of like a life coach. You know, if you need some like, you know, suggestions on, you know, you come to a fork in the road or something like that, this is the person right here. Would you please welcome Suzanne Dwyer? Wow, a life coach. I don't think I've ever had a life coach on the show before. Nice to meet you.
That's clear.
You're another first.
Fantastic.
Right,
Nice to
put
meet you.
that just a little bit closer so we can hear what you have to say. So tell me about this now. When did you decide to become a life coach?
So I've actually been coaching for over 20 years in business and in life, basically professionally telling people what to do. I'm a redheaded female. That's what I'm good at. So I stuck with it.
So you just go around telling people what to do?
Yeah, it actually works out really well. Explains why I'm divorced, but you know, it works out really well for me in work. So.
But it's interesting because you actually help people. I know it's not really a counseling thing. It's more like, well, people come to a fork in the road, they change jobs. Maybe a marriage does end. Maybe the kids are grown. Maybe whatever. I don't know, something happens in their life and they just want some direction. Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, basically. So what it comes down to is people will kind of listen to the, unfortunately, societal standards of what life is supposed to be about. And what I do is I basically just be like, but do you have to? You really don't have to listen to what everybody says that you need to be. You just need to listen to what yourself says.
Right.
Listen to your intuition. Listen to what you want. And I kind of guide them on that path so that they can start making different decisions and stop just living in the life of living in that box, because we're not cats. We don't belong living in a box. So, just gotta make some fun.
Yeah, but Gary likes to go every once in a while, you know?
He looks like, I was gonna say, he looks really good at it too.
Oh, thank you.
No, but seriously, thinking outside the box, I think people have a way of living and they don't think that there's other things that they can do or chances they can take and stuff like that. So you help them with that, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. It comes down to just getting out of your own way and start making new decisions, because your brain is basically gonna fight you tooth and nail, telling you, don't do it, it's scary. But that's the whole point. I mean, if we're really gonna enjoy our lives, we gotta do the scary stuff.
It's kind of like being in the comfort zone and you're afraid to go outside the comfort zone. Is that kind of what we're talking about? Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. The comfort zone is like that, you know, favorite comfy chair with a favorite comfy blanket with a favorite cup of tea that you don't want to leave. But what it comes down to is if you challenge yourself consistently, your comfort zone will become big enough that it needs its own beach house.
Now, how do you decide between the person kind of finding the way themselves and you actually telling them, hey, you know, maybe you ought to try this or try that?
Oh, I don't tell anybody what they need to be doing. I tell them that they need to start listening to themselves. And if they're on the wrong path, I'm just going to kind of guide a little bit on the path of understanding more about themselves. So if they're making decisions that are basically harmful to themselves or things that are going to be like not in the right space for what it is that they're looking for, not in the right alignment, I'm going to help them in the place of just like, oh, look, there's that pretty little shell right there. You should look at that little shell. Just pay attention to that little shell right there. Because if you keep paying attention to that little shell, that one thing that you're ignoring, it's going to open up to everything that you need.
Now, do you ever take these ideas and apply them to your own life?
Oh, of course. I have to. I can't coach other people on this unless I'm doing it myself.
So is there anything in your own life that you can think of where you decided to take a chance or do something different?
Oh, absolutely. I took a total atom bomb to my life.
Well, you're doing something right now, as a matter of fact, aren't you?
I am. I actually am selling my house and I'm moving to Italy.
Whoa, wow,
Yeah.
moving to Italy?
Yeah, why not?
Wow, that seems like a real big, you know, that's like jumping into the deep end of the pool, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, as it should be though, because what it comes down to is you gotta live the best life. If you're not living your best life, then why are we here?
Why did you decide Italy, by the way?
A couple of reasons. First off, the food's not poisoned, the water's not poisoned, which is super fun. But then it's gorgeous there, and believe it or not, people are nice just to be nice. Like, who would have thunk it? It's like a whole thing.
Nice. All right, so if you have one suggestion that you could make to the average person out there, what would it be?
Oh, don't let yourself get stressed out by what other people think and how other people make you feel. Just think of it in the sense of when people are making you feel bad about yourself, it comes down to the fact that they just don't know how to feel good about themselves. So let it go.
Amen to that.
Nice,
Don't hold
nice.
on
All
to it.
right. Hey, that was really some great advice. Really appreciate you stopping by. Keep helping people, and good luck when you go to Italy. I think that's going to be fantastic.
you.
Suzanne Dwyer, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Back in about 1 minute with a little special surprise. Stay with us. All right, Gary Leangeman, you ready to go?
I think I am.
All right, you know what happened, right? I've been practicing my singing a little bit. So we weren't joking. We went over to Gary's house, myself, Aaron, and stuff like that, and we're actually working on a song, right? So I was just wondering, is it okay if I try it out right here?
Hi, yeah, I think yes. I don't think that wasn't. We need everybody. It's got to be a whole.
All right, why don't you ask him?
All right, folks, listen, please, folks, ladies and gentlemen, this is the world premiere.
No, it's not the world premiere.
No, what is it? The
I
Mickey
don't know,
B's
just-
premiere.
Yeah, I guess so.
Paul has no longer a wannabe. He's stepping up to the plate right now.
Oh, okay.
And he's going to be doing. He's going to be in.
Let's give it a shot. It's only 2 minutes. All right,
That's
here we
right.
go. Ready? You tell me when to start.
I will.
It had to be you. It had to be you. I've wandered around and finally found somebody who could make me be true or make me be blue or even be glad just to be sad thinking of you. Some others I've seen might never be me, might never be cross just to be boss. They wouldn't do, for nobody else gave me a thrill. With all your faults, I love you still. It had to be you, wonderful you. Had to be you.
Ladies and gentlemen, world-class singer, Mr. Paul Santos. Big round of applause for Paul. He's a triple threat.
All right, at this time, we'd like to invite up to our stage our next guest from the LGBTQ plus network. Would you please welcome Mr. Andrew Pollock over to the table? Andrew Pollock, thank you very much for being on the show. I'm sorry to drop that in there. I've just been working on it, you know, and might have been a little pitchy at times, but, you know, we're working on it, you know.
Oh, dear God, Paul, that was hot. I have to say. I mean, it really is a vape pen in my pocket, but I was excited. It took him a while. Yeah, all right.
So you thought it was okay?
Oh, yeah, I'm still a little speechless. Speaking of speechless, have you noticed the suit tonight? I think there's a dead carnival barker somewhere, but he does look really good. He looks really good.
Well, thank you very much for those compliments. I really appreciate it. So how are you? How have you been?
I am well, and I wanted to talk to you a little bit about what we're doing with the network.
Yes.
We work with LGBT folks in the South Coast area up to Taunton, to Wareham, Seekonk. And we work, we're doing really good stuff. So we're putting together a community center. We've raised $3 million for that at Little Sister Roses in New Bedford. It should be opened next year in January, hopefully a year from now. Let's hear it. So really excited. It's the only one of its kind in the state, Paul. Isn't that amazing? It's just, I mean, all right. Yeah, feel a signal there. I follow direction well. And the second thing, we're putting together some really good programs. Youth, trans, and elders. really serving our community and moving it forward. So in the future, what we're looking to do is to work with LGBT asylum seekers that are coming into the country. A lot from Africa, some places in the islands where it's it's very, very dangerous to be LGBT. In fact, it's deadly. So they're seeking asylum in the country. We're working with a group in Worcester to bring folks over and to work in tandem with them. And we're also starting a sheltered work environment in Fall River. The name of the store, Paul, you'll love it, it's called Sprinkles. That's the idea. To have a sheltered work environment to get people experience and things like that to build our community.
That's
So,
nice. Good
all
work.
this
Good
stuff.
work to
Yeah,
be doing.
yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So we are really very excited about some of the stuff that's coming out. One of the things I wanted to talk to you about was this film is called Rustin. It's a film, it's going to be shown at the Whaling Museum on Sunday, the 14th. It's a really good MLK Day experience for you. It's free. Mr. Santos, it's free.
Why are you looking at me when you say that?
I'm just saying, you know, it's
You think
no
I'm cheap?
excuses. No, never. I'm just looking at your. No, never. I'm just fixing it for you. All right.
I'll have you know this is a very expensive suit
I'm
here.
sure it is. I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is.
Gary told me where to get this.
The Granimal on the back, or that's.
I told him where to get it. I didn't tell him what to get. Clearly, I didn't tell him what to get. I just told him where to get it, right?
So anyway, Rustin, Bayard Rustin was an amazing person. He was an activist in the 60s, and this is a really great film. Coleman Domingo was nominated for Golden Globe. He's starring in the movie. So it's free. It's at 4:30. You need to register at the Whaling Museum to get a ticket, but it is free.
Nice. Great. Great for the update. Thank you. Now, you know, we were joking before about marriage, right? You've been married for a little while. How long have you been married?
20 years. Well, Paul, it's going to be 20 years. It was legal in Massachusetts.
Right, when Massachusetts was the first
Yeah.
state, right, gay marriage, right.
We fought for it, folks.
So, you know, like I have an occasional disagreement with my wife. You know, that's in the heterosexual community. In the gay community, I mean, I imagine it's the same thing, right? You have disagreements with your husband sometimes?
Yeah, of course.
So how do you...
I just say he's right. It works all every time. You sound familiar? And then when he's talking,
okay, I got it.
Yeah, it works. It works fabulously. And then when he's not listening, I ask for things like, "We should get more chickens." Yeah, whatever. And then they arrive. He's like, "What the fuck?" I'm like, "You said it was fine." Right? Isn't that how it works?
Yeah, I think that's
I know.
sometimes
It's not
how
gay
it-
straight. It's people.
People being people having disagreements, right? It's not any different.
Right. Come on, let's clap for that. Sing the love song.
Let's clap for disagreements. You know,
So how do you handle it, Paul?
well,
I thought you were the pretty prop. Little arm candy.
well,
When you're not singing, I feel like a woman.
I guess it's in the eyes of the beholder, you know.
Tell the story.
Well, so what is this now?
The story of I Feel Like a Woman. Do you remember singing that song?
No, I
You
don't.
were
What
at a concert.
oh
and
well,
you,
I went to see Shania Twain with my wife,
And
and,
you
they
were
had that
singing?
song "I Feel Like a Woman."
and you were singing it,
Well, I sang along with the crowd.
and your wife looked at you like, "Why are my underpants stretched?"
Wait a minute. So if I see Shania Twain, I can't sing along with the
Oh,
song.
you can do whatever you want, Paul. That's about the beauty of the LGBT network. We take everybody. So we're really excited about the progress that's being made in our
Right,
community, and we're if anyone's interested in helping out, they can contact me at the South Coast LGBT Network. We're always looking for folks. You can be whatever you want, Paul, and we welcome you. So
Right. All right. By the way, you know, your husband came down here to one. You've been on the show like 3 or 4 times, and he's only come one time. How come? How come he doesn't come like all the
how
time?
come you don't remember how many times I've been on the show, Paul? It's been more than 3 times.
Oh, is that right? I'm sorry.
Yeah, is that right?
How many has it been? Maybe 4.
All right, so here's a joke for everybody.
Uh-oh.
This Paul has trouble with women. So he said, I'm going to ask the computer. So he asked the computer, Siri, why do I have trouble with women? And she waits for a minute and then says, my name's Alexa. I started with you when you were at the old across from Glacier Glass back in the day.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, right. In the New Bedford Guide studio.
We
Yep.
were all young and pretty, weren't we?
Yeah, that's right. No, I remember that very well because I remember asking you, didn't I ask you that question, how did you know you were gay? Or
And
when
you
did
didn't know I was going to answer the way as I did, because Paul asked me, kind of snarky, I thought, was, how did you know that you were homosexual? And I said, when I walked in and saw you. And you know how he gets, he's like, I've never seen him that thrown, except when there was, yeah, well, right, all right. I hadn't seen him that thrown until I saw him interview the female bodybuilder. Oh, dear God, there must be a puddle under here. He was looking at her like a Catholic priest looks at the altar boy.
So true.
Oh!
I mean, it was like a dog and a bone in a candy store, and she's posing, and she's like, touch my muscle, Paul.
No, she was talking to me when she said
Yeah, right.
Oh, I'm glad you were watching that night.
Yeah. So, yeah, of course.
Apparently you don't miss a show.
Of course. Well, Paul, and then I texted you, why don't you touch my muscle? And then I didn't hear from you for a while.
No, I remember you saying that about the muscle. Hey, you keep up the great work. What we like about you, you're doing some great work in the LGBT community and in the community at large, and you have a great sense of humor, and we appreciate that.
Always enjoy it, Paul.
Andrew Pollock, thank you very much. Let's hear from Gary and the band. Here we go. Gary Langevin, Artie DeMello, and the PSL band.
Well, it ain't mean a thing if it ain't got that swing. Don't mean a thing, all you gotta do is sing. Makes no difference how we carry on, as long as we keep that music going strong. Don't mean a thing, all you gotta do is sing. Artie DeMello, everybody.
Yeah.
Let's cheer for Artie, everybody.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to take the opportunity to thank our guest, singer Leon Monty. That's right. Doing all that great work with the kids of Ghana. How about from the LGBTQ plus network and a real hilarious, should be a comedian too, Andrew Pollock. Life coach Suzanne Dwyer. And our fantastic comic this week, DEBI Braconi. Next week, we have a fantastic show. We have an unbelievable singer. She's been on before. I mean, she's like American Idol quality. Jacqueline Legender will be on the show next week. Also, an outstanding singer, Tracy Fonts, will be in the house. We have a gentleman who speaks having to do with the quadriplegic community. Very, very interesting young man. DJ Bishop is going to be here next week. And a fantastic comic, B. Lee, will be in the house. I'd like to take the opportunity to thank our comedy director from Dying for Laughs, Allison Dyan. And how about these guys right here? Gary Artie and the PSL Band.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you,
We'll be
everybody.
right back here next Monday night at Mikey B's. So come on out and hang out with us in the audience. We really appreciate it, and we really enjoy seeing you. I'm Paul Santos for the Paul Santos Live Show. Have a great night, everybody.